There is an automatic procedure within the human body which, if not interfered with, will eliminate disease, trouble, sorrow, and death, as stated in the Bible. George W. Carey wrote this in 1920 in his almost forgotten book, God-Man, the Word Made Flesh. And this discovery exposes the lie that organized religions have spent 2,000 years convincing humanity of, that salvation comes from outside, from a crucified Savior, from an enlightened guru, from a sacred institution, when the biological mechanism of enlightenment is literally pulsing within the spinal column of every human being at this exact moment. Medical science has already mapped the brain structures involved, identified the neurotransmitters released, and documented the physiological changes that occur when someone goes through what traditions call the second birth. What George Carey, physician and researcher, discovered at the beginning of the 20th century by decoding biblical allegories should have revolutionized both religion and neuroscience. But it was systematically ignored because it threatened the spiritual monopoly of institutions. The Christic oil mentioned in sacred scriptures is a real, measurable secretion that your pineal and pituitary glands produce in specific cycles determined by lunar position. When the moon transits through a person's birth zodiac sign, information that any astrological calendar provides with mathematical precision, these glands enter a state of hyperproduction that ancient initiates knew and consciously explored. This fluid, enriched with specific neurochemical compounds, naturally descends through the spine via the central channel, dissipating in the ordinary activities of life. Every burst of anger, every wasted orgasm, every alcoholic intoxication literally burns this precious substance, keeping the individual in a state of ordinary consciousness, like a computer perpetually running in safe mode. What makes this revelation particularly disturbing is its universality across cultures. The Egyptians codified the process in the 33 degrees of Osiris's initiation, not coincidentally, the same number of vertebrae in the human spine. The Hindus described with surgical precision the path of Kundalini through the nadis and chakras, mapping each energy center with its corresponding nerve plexus. The Gnostic Christians, before being systematically eliminated by the Church of Rome, openly taught that Christ lived 33 years to symbolize the complete journey through each vertebral segment until the resurrection at Golgotha, which means place of the skull in Aramaic, a direct reference to the process that occurs inside the cranial cavity. Samael Aun Weor, considered the reformer of modern Gnosticism, synthesized these fragmented pieces of knowledge into a practical system in the 20th century. His revelations about the master glands as biological Joseph and Mary, perpetually generating the Christological birth, were confirmed decades later by research on endogenous DMT production by the pineal and the altered states induced by specific meditative practices. Modern neuroscience, without realizing it, has partially validated what mystics have always known, that the human brain is a complete pharmacy capable of producing natural psychoactive compounds under specific conditions. The question that should disturb any serious seeker is, why has this knowledge remained hidden? The answer reveals a conspiracy not of men in dark rooms, but of institutionalized ignorance. When you understand that you can activate your own process of Christification without intermediaries, without tithes, without submission to ecclesiastical hierarchies, you become spiritually autonomous. And spiritually autonomous individuals are impossible to control through fear of hell or the promise of paradise. This process does not require blind faith.